Yes, good morning everyone. So today this is the last class of chapter 4 ratio analysis, in which we will be first discussing the assignment which I have given you yesterday, and then we will be discussing one more type of ratio analysis. Okay, one more type of ratio analysis which we have not discussed till now for all the ratios, and which is also the very important part of the ratio analysis. So you can see I have shared the screen, and yesterday I had given you some questions, and you can see the solutions. That in this question you need to find out all the ratios of the profitability: gross profit ratio, operating profit ratio, and the net profit ratio. All the four ratios of the profitability. Why I have given this question? Because just in this one question only you will be able to do all type of ratios from one question. Okay. So in this question you can see that the opening inventory, closing inventory, all these are given: opening inventory and closing inventory, purchase, wages, carriage inwards, then administrative expenses, selling expenses, income tax, profit on sale of fixed assets, RFO, 24 lakh. Okay. So in such type of question, first of all, you have to go step by step. You cannot find out the operating profit ratio or operating ratio before calculating the gross profit ratio. So first of all, you have to calculate the gross profit ratio, and the formula for gross profit ratio is gross profit upon RFO into 100. Gross profit upon RFO into 100. So gross profit, what is the formula to find out gross profit? RFO minus COGS. But here RFO is given, but not the COGS is given. So first of all, we have to find out COGS. And what is the formula to find out COGS? Yes, opening stock plus all direct expenses plus net purchases minus closing stock. So from this question itself, opening stock is given 3 lakh and purchases are given 14 lakh. So that will be added, plus wages and carriage inwards. These two are the direct expenses. Okay, wages and carriage inwards. So these two will be added minus closing inventory. So you can see from the solution, you can match your solution. The gross profit COGS is equal to whatever the total is coming. Then 24 lakh minus 18 lakh. COGS is 18 lakh. So the gross profit is 6 lakh. Now put the values in the formula. Gross profit upon RFO into 100. Gross profit is 6 lakh upon RFO 24 lakh into 100. So the answer is 25%. Now second, operating ratio. Operating ratio, I told you, operating cost upon RFO. Operating cost means COGS plus operating expenses. Now go back to the question again. Which are the operating expenses here? Only two expenses are operating here. That is the selling expense and the administrative expense. These two examples I had given you for operating. Selling expense, all those expenses which comes in P&L account, except those four which I told you yesterday. All the losses, charity, donation and interest. These four are non-operating, and rest all the P&L expenses are operating. So administrative expense is the P&L expense. Selling expense is also P&L expense. So they both are operating expense. So cost of RFO we have already calculated in the previous part. That is the 18 lakh. Now operating expense 36 plus 84, which is equal to 120. So now the formula is 18 lakh plus 120. Yes, no, Anmol. If you have find out operating ratio, this thing I am going to tell today only. Till now I have not told about this thing. So students, make sure that operating ratio plus operating profit ratio is always equal to 100. Many times this question it come in exam, that if operating ratio is 70%, find out operating profit ratio. So it can be the one marker question only. So the operating profit ratio will be 30%, because write down the formula: operating ratio plus operating profit ratio. is always equal to 100. But if this has come in a complete question, so in that case you have to solve. Otherwise there will be no marks for step, because in such type of question there are the step marking. So if you are just writing operating profit ratio by deducting it from 100, like here 20% the operating profit is there, so you can also find it out by 100 minus 80%, that is the equal to 20%. But in that case you may lose your marks. If it is of 1 mark, then you can write by deducting it from 100. But if it is a complete question, then you have to show the steps. Okay, Anmol? Am I clear? So operating ratio is equal to cost of RFO plus operating expense upon RFO into 100. So the operating ratio is here 80%. Yesterday I told you that operating ratio is lower better, not the higher. Because operating ratio plus operating profit ratio. Operating ratio means cost. This is the operating cost. Means if the total cost is 100, then the operating cost is, if the total amount is 100, RFO is 100, then out of that RFO 80 is operating cost and 20 is the profit. Okay, so 80% is the operating ratio. Now the operating profit ratio formula is operating profit upon RFO. What I told you about operating profit, because already we have calculated GP, so easily we can find out operating profit. GP minus all operating expenses plus all operating other incomes. So I'm going back to the question to check whether there is any operating other income or not. Yes, no other operating income is given in the question. You can see that profit on sale of fixed asset. This is non-operating expense. Sorry, non-operating income. But it's not operating. In operating, I told you only 2 examples. Can you tell me which 2 operating other income I told you yesterday? Can anyone told me? Tell me. Yes, students, can anyone tell me which 2 examples of other operating income I told you yesterday? 2 examples of other operating income. I have shown you a chart. Yes, Harshita, very good. One more was there, beta. Yes, bad debts recovered and discount received. Very good. 2 examples. These 2 are the other operating income. Main operating income is RFO and other operating income is bad debts recovered and discount received. Both of these are not given. And profit on sale of fixed assets, rent received, dividend received, interest received, all these are non-operating other income. So the operating profit here is 4,80,000 upon 24 lakh into 100. Into 100. Am I clear? So the answer is 20%. So we can satisfy the equation to check the answer whether we have find it correctly or not. So we know that operating ratio plus operating profit ratio is equal to 100. So the operating ratio is 80 and the operating profit ratio is 20, which makes equal to 100. It means our both answers are correct. Now find out the net profit ratio. In net profit ratio, operating profit you are already having. So what changes you can do to find out the net profit? You have to deduct all the non-operating expenses and you have to add back all the non-operating incomes in the operating profit. So net profit you can find from gross profit as well as from operating profit. You can use the method in which you are comfortable. So if we are finding out from gross profit, then gross profit minus all expenses of P&L, whether it is operating or non-operating, plus all incomes of P&L. So all expenses like administrative expense, selling expense, income tax. I told you also that whenever we will be considering net profits and taxes are given in the question, so we have to deduct taxes. So that's why taxes are also deducted here. Net profit ratio formula is net profit after tax. Net profit after tax upon RFO. Net profit after tax upon RFO into 100. Okay, so the answer is 16.67. Now please tell me whose answers are correct and whether all the answers are correct or any 1 or 2 are incorrect. Yes, I am waiting for your answers, students. I know that many of you people have not done. Yes, very good, Anmol. So all those who are doing practice at home only, they will be getting good marks in 12th. You cannot do this chapter in a 1 day or single day. Make sure. It's a very complicated chapter. So just by doing in 1 or 2 days, you will not be able to solve or to revise all the ratios. No other student has done? Only 1 or 2 answers I have got. Yes. Tell me, no other students have done. So next the question number 108. So calculate the net profit ratio. You can check the answer again. Here you have to find out just the net profit ratio. So net profit ratio is equal to net profit upon RFO into 100. Again the same formula. Net profit means net profit after taxes. So here in this question, operating ratio is given 80%. Operating ratio is given 80%. It means operating profit will be 20%. 20% of what? RFO. So in this question, nothing is given clearly. So, but by using the operating ratio, we can find out the operating profit. So operating profit ratio is operating profit upon RFO into 100. The ratio is 20%. How I have calculated ratio? Because operating ratio is given 80% and I told you that operating ratio plus operating profit ratio is always equal to 100. So the operating profit will be equal to 20%. 20% of RFO. RFO is given 20 lakh. So the operating profit will be 4 lakh. Now net profit we have to find out. So from operating profit we have to just deduct the non-operating expenses and plus the non-operating income. You can note down the answer, which is 4,20,000 is the net profit. Operating profit has come 4 lakh minus non-operating expense 30,000 plus non-operating income 50. So 4 lakh minus 30 plus 50, which is equal to 4,20,000 upon 20 lakh into 100. Very good, Anmol. It's 21%. I think only few students are doing. So all those who are doing, there will be better understanding for them, and not doing, they will be not getting any marks, even in test and in the recap questions. From the following, calculate ROI, and the formula for ROI is NPBITD, net profit before interest and tax, upon capital employed into 100. Yesterday I told you. NPBITD upon capital employed into 100. So what is here NPBITD? Net profit before interest and tax. So from the given information you can find out net profits before tax. It is given at the end of the question 60,000. It's before tax, not before interest. It means we have to add interest in it back. Before tax means taxes are not deducted till now. So we need not to add back the taxes. So we have to just add interest. And how we will be able to calculate the interest? 12% long-term borrowings are given 2 lakh. 12% long-term borrowings are given, which is 2 lakh. 12% long-term borrowings are given, which is 2 lakh. It means 2 lakh, 24,000 is the interest. So by adding it back, you can see net profit before tax 60,000. Add 12% interest, 84,000 is the NPBITD. Now find out the capital employed and liability side approach we can use, because all of the liability side things are given. Share capital, reserve and surplus, and plus non-current liabilities. Share capital is 50, reserve and surplus 25, 75 plus long-term borrowings 2 lakh. So what has come? 2,75,000. Okay, because this is the easy approach. So if the liability side is given, just use that only. No need to do the current liability. And you can verify your answer by using the asset approach also. You will be having the same answer. So it's up to you which approach you want to use. But make sure that all the components of that approach are given in the question. So the capital employed here is 2,75,000. And now the answer 84,000 upon 275 into 100. And the answer is 30.55%. Now next question 112, which I had given you. Net profit before tax after interest and tax 1 lakh. Current assets 4 lakh. Current liabilities 2 lakh. Tax rate 20%. Fixed asset 6 lakh. 10% long-term debt and 4 lakh. You can see that same question has come 2 times in board examination. It very rarely happens that the same question is coming in board examination. Once in 2017, then again in 2018. So it's a very important question. So net profit after taxes are given again by using the formula which I told you. After tax profit into 100 upon 100 minus tax rate. Tax rate is 20, 100 minus 20 which is equal to 80. So 1 lakh into 100 upon 80 which is equal to 1,25,000. This is the net profit before tax. Now in second step we have to add interest. So 10% interest is paid on 4 lakh. So the interest amount is 40,000. So the net profit before interest here is 125 plus 40 which is equal to 165. So now the capital employed. Here we cannot use the liability side approach as no figures are given about the liability side. So we have to use the asset approach, and in asset approach I told you the formula net fixed assets plus non-current investment plus working capital. Here non-current investments are not given. So we will be taking only the fixed asset plus working capital. Working capital formula is current assets minus current liability. So fixed asset is 6 lakh, current assets 4 lakh and current liability is 2 lakh. And the answer here is 8 lakh. Now we can find out the answer. Just put the value in the figure. Such type of question, it's a very simple question. Usually comes in 4 marks in board examination. So the next question, I think one more question is left. Yes, this question. From the following details, calculate ROI. ROI you have to also use in your project work of accountancy. Share capital, equity and preference, both share capital we have, general reserve also, 10% debentures also. Current liabilities are also there, net profit after interest and tax. So again we have to do the same steps which we have done in the previous question after interest and after tax. So first we have to find out the profit before tax. Then afterwards we have to find out the interest. So make sure that first you are finding out the profits before tax. Don't add interest before calculating that amount. So net profit before interest and tax. So net profits here are given 80,000 and the tax rate is 50. So I told you 80,000 into 100 upon 50. 100 minus tax rate. So the net profit before tax is 1,60,000. Now add back the interest, 10% of 4 lakh, which is equal to 40,000. So net profit before interest is 40. So net profit before interest and tax 2 lakh. Now find out the capital employed. For capital employed, we have equity share capital. So we can use the liability approach because all the figures of liability approach are given. So equity share capital, preference share capital plus reserves and surplus and plus non-current liabilities. So you can add up all the non-current liabilities here. So equity share capital 4 lakh, shareholder funds means equity share capital plus preference share capital, then plus reserve and surplus. So 4 lakh plus 1 lakh plus 2,70,000 plus 80,000 plus 4 lakh which is equal to 12,50,000. 12,50,000. So the answer is 2 lakh upon 12,50,000 into 100. The answer here is 16%. So I am going for the next question. So this is the new topic for today which we will be doing, and in this manner also questions come in board examination. So what is the manner here? Like it will be mentioned in the question that current ratio is given in this question. Okay, and you need not to solve any numerical. So for solving these questions, make sure that you must know the effect on the accounting equation. In 11th class, we did accounting equation where with every transaction, there was a two-sided effect. So while solving these questions, you have to just imagine the effect of a particular transaction on accounting equation. Like here, the current ratio is given 2:1. So you can assume that the current ratio formula is current asset upon current liabilities. 2:1 means you can assume that the current assets are of rupees 2 lakh and the current liabilities are of rupees 1 lakh. Because while you will assume it will be easy to solve such type of questions, and these type of question can come on any of the ratio. How many categories? 4 categories we have done, and these type of question can come on inventory turnover ratio, debt equity ratio, current ratio, quick ratio, in which you have to analyze the effect of the transaction on accounting equation. So here current ratio is 2 is to 1. 2 is to 1 means current assets are 2 times of the current liabilities. So suppose I have taken here current asset 2 lakh and current liability is 1 lakh. Okay. Now state giving reasons which of the following would improve, reduce or not change. This type of question come this year in board examination in MCQ form. 2 questions of the same time came in this year. So this type is also very important. So first you have to tell me that whether the ratio with the particular transaction will improve, reduce or not change. Out of these three, one will be the answer. So repayment of a current liability. Can you imagine? Repayment of a current liability. So you have to assume any figure. Suppose you are making the payment of 50,000 of current liability. Creditors were there of rupees 50,000. Then how it will be affecting? What will be the its effect on accounting equation? Tell me students, when you are making a payment of creditor, then what will be its effect on accounting equation? आपने 11th में अकाउंटिंग इक्वेशन सीखा था. अगर आप क्रेडिटर्स की पेमेंट कर रहे हैं, मैंने एज्यूम कर लिया है अमाउंट, बिकॉज हियर इन दिस क्वेश्चन नो अमाउंट इज गिवन. So by assuming it, we will be able to understand the concept. So every time you have to assume an amount if an amount is not given. Yes, आपकी करंट एसेट्स 2 लाख है जो हमने एज्यूम की है और करंट लायबिलिटीज 1 लाख है. Now first transaction you have made a payment to current liability. So again I have assumed here that I have made payment of rupees 50,000. तो जब मैं 50,000 की पेमेंट करूंगी तो मेरी अकाउंटिंग इक्वेशन पे क्या इफेक्ट आएगा? यस अनमोल, यस खुशी, only few students have given me answer. Yes Harshita, don't give me the direct answer Harshita. I have asked one question कि अगर मैंने करंट लायबिलिटीज क्रेडिटर्स की पेमेंट की 50,000 की, तो करंट एसेट और क्रेडिटर्स किस पे इफेक्ट आएगा? 50,000 की पेमेंट करने से किस पे इफेक्ट आएगा? यस वरुण भाटिया, यू हैव गिवन वेरी करेक्ट आंसर. यस क्रेडिटर्स कम हो जाएंगे, वेरी गुड, और दूसरी तरफ हमारा कैश भी कम हो जाएगा. मैनी स्टूडेंट्स हैव गिवन मी करेक्ट. तो सपोज मैंने 50,000 की पेमेंट की है, तो 2 लाख माइनस 50,000 करंट एसेट्स में से कैश कम हो रहा है, तो नाउ करंट एसेट्स विल बी 150 and the current liabilities earlier we were having 1 lakh, now minus 50,000. So current liabilities we are having 50,000. So 150 upon 50, the answer is 3 is to 1. So what impact you can see on the ratio? Earlier it was 2 is to 1, now it is 3 is to 1. So now it means ratio has improved. Ratio has improved. Earlier it was 2 is to 1, now it is 3 is to 1. So for every transaction, you have to see the impact of the transaction on accounting equation, then try to solve it. Don't give answer randomly. क्योंकि आपके माइंड में ये भी आ सकता है कि भाई लाइबिलिटी भी कम हो रही है, एसेट भी कम हो रही है, तो रेशो पे तो कोई चेंज ही नहीं आएगा. तो स्टूडेंट्स ये भी सोच सकते हैं कि 50,000 से एसेट भी कम हुआ और 50,000 से लाइबिलिटी भी कम हुआ, तो देयर विल बी नो चेंज इन रेशो. नो, when you are doing this question by taking assumptions that you are assuming the amount, then you will be definitely finding the correct answer. और अगर आप random answer दे रहे हैं तो आपका गलत हो जाएगा आंसर. Now I am going for the second question. Purchase of goods for cash. Now suppose आपने 50,000 के गुड्स खरीद लिए कैश में, तो पहले इसका इफेक्ट सोचिए अकाउंटिंग इक्वेशन पर. क्या इफेक्ट आएगा जब आप गुड्स खरीद रहे हो कैश में, और मैंने अमाउंट भी बता दिया है 50,000 के गुड्स. अब आपके करंट एसेट्स फिर से 2 लाख है. बिगिनिंग वाले रेशो को ही कंसिडर करना है. करंट एसेट्स 2 लाख है, करंट लायबिलिटीज 1 लाख है, और अब आपने 50,000 के गुड्स खरीदे कैश में. तो पहले बताइए मुझे कि इससे आपकी अकाउंटिंग इक्वेशन पे क्या इफेक्ट आएगा स्टूडेंट? अकाउंटिंग इक्वेशन पर क्या इफेक्ट आएगा? इफ यू आर गोइंग टू परचेज गुड्स कॉस्टिंग रुपीज 50,000 इन कैश. यस वेरी गुड प्रियांशी, वरुण भाटिया. यस, कैश कम हो जाएगा एंड ऑन द अदर हैंड साइड हमारे गुड्स इंक्रीज हो जाएंगे. वेरी गुड. स्टॉक. दिस ट्रांजेक्शन विल नॉट बी अफेक्टिंग करंट लायबिलिटीज. तो बताइए अब रेशो में कोई चेंज आएगा? 50,000 विल बी एडेड इन करंट एसेट and 50,000 will be deducted from current asset itself without affecting current liabilities. Yes, yes, Weber, very good. No change in ratio because the same amount is added in the current asset and the same amount is deducted from the current asset, leaving no effect on current liability. So there will be no change in ratio. Am I clear? So if only the numerator is changing with any of the transaction and numerator, we can say the same change is there, same amount is added and same amount is deducted, then definitely there will be no change in the ratio. Third, now consider the third transaction, sale of office equipment for rupees 4,000, book value 5,000, means जो ऑफिस इक्विपमेंट आपने सेल किया उसकी बुक्स में वैल्यू 5,000 थी बट यू हैव सोल्ड इट फॉर 4,000. पहले आप देखो जब आप ऑफिस इक्विपमेंट सेल करोगे तो क्या ये करंट एसेट या करंट लायबिलिटीज में से किसी को भी इफेक्ट करेगा? टेल मी. व्हेन यू विल बी सेलिंग ऑफिस इक्विपमेंट whether it will be increasing. Yes, Khushi, office equipment is a fixed asset, not the part of stock. हाँ जी, जब आप ऑफिस इक्विपमेंट को सेल करोगे कितने का था? 5,000 का था, आपने सेल किया 4,000. तो इसका इफेक्ट कहाँ कहाँ पर आएगा इस ट्रांजेक्शन का? अकाउंटिंग इक्वेशन पे सोचना. आप ऑफिस इक्विपमेंट को कम कर दोगे अगर आप अकाउंटिंग इक्वेशन कर रहे हो तो बाय 5,000. 4,000 आपने सेल किया है तो कैश आया होगा आपके पास, कैश में प्लस हो जाएगा 4,000 और बाकी जो 1,000 का लॉस हो गया है दैट विल बी डिडक्टेड फ्रॉम कैपिटल, लॉस और प्रॉफिट. Very good. But office equipment is not the part of current asset. So by what amount current asset will be affecting? Yes, Toshit, you have given me correct answer. By what amount the current assets will be affecting? Tell me. I am waiting for your answer, students. By what amount current assets will be affecting? Yes, yes. Mitali, you have given incorrect answer. Varun, you have also given me incorrect answer. I told you that 5,000 was the book value of office equipment. Current assets, office equipment is not the current asset. Current asset means cash. We are getting cash. How much of the cash we are getting? 4,000. So cash will be increased by 4,000 and no decrease because office equipment will be decreased. So while doing such questions, you have to think in deep. ओके यहाँ पे आपको कोई ज्यादा कैलकुलेशन वर्क नहीं करना है बट आपको थोड़ा अपना थिंकिंग प्रोसेस करना होगा अदरवाइज क्वेश्चन गलत हो जाएगा. आपको ये देखना है जब भी इस टाइप के क्वेश्चन करेंगे आप उस ट्रांजेक्शन का अकाउंटिंग इक्वेशन पे इफेक्ट देखकर फिर करना है उसको. तो यहाँ पर आपका 4,000 से जो कैश है वो इंक्रीज हो गया. कैश इज द पार्ट ऑफ करंट एसेट so numerator will increase but there will be no effect on denominator. Like you are having a fraction is 10 upon 2. Okay, 10 upon 2. If numerator is increased by 2, so it means ratio will improve. Earlier the ratio was 5:1. Now the ratio will be 6:1. So whenever numerator here is current asset, there will be change in current assets only. So the ratio will increase. So here now the numerator is 2,04,000, but the denominator is same 1 lakh, which we have earlier assumed because there was no change in current liability. So there will be improvement in the ratio. Next, fourth part. Okay. Tell me about this fourth part. You have to assume here again because no amount is given. Purchase of stock in trade on credit. Now you have purchased goods but not in cash, on credit. Credit means creditors. Creditor is the part of current liability. Goods is the part of current asset. Again, suppose you have purchased the goods of 50,000. So now tell me, what will be the answer? Tell me fast. Yes, Khushi, very good. Stock and liability will increase. Very good, Varun. Creditors भी बढ़ जाएगा, stock भी बढ़ जाएगा. Very good. Increase in liability, increase in asset. Now just tell me whether the ratio will improve, reduce or not change. Improve, reduce or not change. We know that we have current assets of 2 lakh, current liability is 1 lakh. So if we are purchasing goods on credit, then current asset will be increased with 50,000. Suppose I have purchased the goods and current liability will also increased. So now you will be having 2,50,000 upon 1,50,000. So ratio will decrease. Yes, Anshika, your answer is correct. Yes, decrease because okay, you can make the equation, you can find out by putting the values. आप random answer मत दो, मैंने आपको बताया आप assume कर लो 50,000 के आपने goods खरीदे on credit, तो इससे आपकी current assets पहले जो 2 lakh की थी अब वो 250 हो जाएंगी. On the other hand side, current liability earlier which were 1 lakh, now they will be 150. So 250 divided by 150. डबल तो नहीं है ना, तो इट मीन्स रेशियो इज रिड्यूस. इट्स 1, आप डिवाइड करके देख लीजिएगा, तो इट विल बी लेसर देन 2:1. नेक्स्ट, सेल ऑफ गुड्स 11,000, कॉस्ट 10,000. अब बताओ इस ट्रांजेक्शन का अकाउंटिंग इक्वेशन पे क्या इफेक्ट आएगा, क्या कितना प्लस होगा, कहाँ पे प्लस होगा, कितना माइनस होगा, कहाँ से माइनस होगा. टेल मी. व्हेन यू आर सेलिंग, अच्छा सा लग रहा होगा ना तुम लोगों को, 11th का टॉपिक कर रहे हो. सेल ऑफ गुड्स 11,000, कॉस्ट 10,000. मीन्स आपने 10,000 की कॉस्टिंग वाले गुड्स यू हैव सोल्ड फॉर 11,000. ओके, टेल मी इन अकाउंटिंग इक्वेशन कितना कहाँ प्लस होगा, कितना कहाँ माइनस होगा. ओके, स्टॉक डिक्रीज एंड कैश इंक्रीज. बाय व्हाट अमाउंट? yes, Anushka Kothari, very good. By what amount stock will increase? By what amount? Yes. Yes, Akash, you have given the incorrect answer. Yes, Anshika, correct. Stock will decrease by 10,000. Very good. Cost को हम minus करते थे और goods कितने के sale किए आपने? 11,000. So cash will be increased by 11,000. So current assets will be added by 11,000. Will be deducted by 10,000, leaving no effect on current liabilities. So ultimately plus 1,000 in the current assets. Yes, very good, Toshit. Yes, Shubhangi, very good. So ultimately 1,000 will increase in the numerator. So very good. Ratio will improve. Very good. Okay. So one more question. This was the question related to current ratio. So similarly, you have to do the current ratio questions. Now, like this question, quick ratio. It is related to quick ratio. Quick ratio of the company is 1.5:1. So we can again assume here 1.5:1 means liquid assets are equal to 1,50,000 because in quick ratio the formula is liquid asset upon current liabilities. So liquid assets here are 1,50,000 suppose, then the current liability will be 1 lakh. Now you have to tell me again, paid rent in advance 3,000. If you have paid rent in advance 3,000, then how it will be affecting the liquid assets. जब आप रेंट इन एडवांस पे करोगे तो बताओ बेटा आप क्या अकाउंटिंग इक्वेशन पे क्या इफेक्ट आता था जब हम रेंट इन एडवांस पे करते थे. रेंट इन एडवांस मींस प्रीपेड रेंट. टेल मी द इफेक्ट. प्रीपेड रेंट आपने पे तो किया ना, तो किस एसेट को इफेक्ट करेगा ये? यस, कैश विल रिड्यूस. वेरी गुड. एंड अदर हैंड साइड प्रीपेड एक्सपेंसेस विल इंक्रीज, सो इट इज एन एसेट. करंट एसेट will reduce and on the other hand side the other current asset will increase. But for liquid ratio only we will consider the effect of cash. We will be not adding back to the prepaid rent because for finding out liquid assets we have to deduct prepaid rent या prepaid expenses. I told you the formula for liquid assets. Liquid assets is equal to current assets minus inventory minus prepaid expenses. So the ratio will decrease. Why? Because quick assets have decreased by 3,000. आपने जो है रेंट पे कर दिया है तो उससे आपका कैश तो कम हो गया है बट करंट लाइबिलिटीज पे कोई इफेक्ट नहीं हुआ है. सो लिक्विड एसेट न्यूमरेटर जो है आपका कम हो गया है लेकिन डिनोमिनेटर पर कोई इफेक्ट नहीं आया है. यस, तो इससे आपका रेशियो क्या होगा? डिक्रीज हो जाएगा. नाउ ट्रेड रिसीवेबल्स इंक्लूडेड अ डेटर Shri Ashok who paid his entire amount rupees 9,700. ट्रेड रिसीवेबल में आपके एक डेटर थे मिस्टर अशोक, उन्होंने अपना सारा अमाउंट आपको पे कर दिया. तो व्हाट विल हैपन? ट्रेड रिसीवेबल एंड डेटर. नाउ द डेटर विल बी कन्वर्टेड, sorry, trade receivable will be converted into cash ओके, तो क्या होगा, ट्रेड रिसीवेबल्स विल डिक्रीज एंड कैश विल इंक्रीज. So no change, one asset is increasing and the one asset is decreasing. Yes, yes Akash, very good. Debtors कम हो जाएंगे और cash बढ़ जाएगा. But both are the part of liquid assets, so no effect on ratio. Very less time is left, so one more question I'm going with the debt equity ratio. In such type of debt equity ratio can be there. So I'll be sending this PDF in group. You can discuss or you can solve all these questions later on. Just practice. Only then you will be able to solve the assignment. Because I'll be giving these questions in assignment too. Debt equity ratio is 2:1. So you have purchased a fixed asset by taking a long-term loan. Purchased a fixed asset by taking a loan. Tell me. Again, you can assume that the debts are of rupees 2 lakh and the equity is 1 lakh. जब आप एसेट खरीदोगे लोन लेकर तो क्या इफेक्ट आएगा बताइए. यस, आपकी फिक्स्ड एसेट इंक्रीज हो जाएगी, दूसरी तरफ आपका लॉन्ग टर्म लोन इज द पार्ट ऑफ डेट, तो डेट विल बी इंक्रीज्ड.